Hello. Welcome to the PowerPoint presentation here. My name is Prince Patridge, also known as EJ. I work up here at Honda Cars of McKinney, here in McKinney, Texas, a suburb about 30 minutes, 40 minutes away from Dallas. And if you're watching this presentation, I just want to thank you for personally entering your name, and email address, and interacting with my website, and wanting to find a little bit more information about who I am and what I stand for. I made this presentation to educate buyers on a few mistakes to avoid when buying your next car here at a dealership. They're all going to be simple stuff, nothing too complex or complicated. When it comes to buying a car, it is a big decision, and most people have to really think about it. So without further ado, here we go. So, about me, my name is Prince Patridge. At work, I go by my middle name, EJ. I work at Honda Cars in McKinney, like I said. I enjoy hobbies such as fishing, exercising, sightseeing, reading books, and, just overall enjoying social life with friends. So, why should you do business with me? I believe that you should do business with me because I work really hard for my customers. I do the best I can to educate them on the best possibilities of buying a car that benefits all my customers to fit the family needs and budget. So anyways, mistake number one, not figuring out your budget the correct way. Now, when most folks try and buy a car, the first thing they'll do is they'll go to a credible website such as autotrader.com, carguru.com, cars.com, and they always have these loan calculators on there that calculates price of the car, down payment, and about what your payments are going to come out to be with a projected cash down. So some mistakes that these car calculators don't do is they don't factor in tax, title, and interest. So, with that being said, what it's going to do is it's going to get, most calculators will calculate a interest-free payment rate. So, let's say if you buy a $20,000 car, and I'm just using simple math here. Let me actually get my calculator. I got it here on my iPhone. Just going to do some simple math with you guys, and if you guys have a calculator, you can do it with me too. So, now, let's say, for example, if you want a $22,000 car, and let's say you want to divide that out into payments of 72 months. So, with that being said, if you divide 20,000 by 72, that's going to come out to $277. What most people don't realize is this number is interest-free, tax-free, title-free, and other types of fees-free. So, when you actually go to a dealership and you're expecting about the 277 number, and then the dealership hits you with something like 350s, 320s, or 330s, don't be shocked. I mean, this is all based on your credit worthiness and what type of payment we can calculate for you guys, and if there's a loan on the car, there's other loan on the car that you guys are trading in. There's other factors affecting the deal. Don't just calculate the payments on a calculator and expect it to come out that way. It's simply, that's not true. Next is you get what you pay for. You only buy, as an average person, probably about 4 or 5, maybe even less than that. Maybe 4 cars per year, 3 cars per year, 4 is being maximum. You get what you pay for, and if you're experienced in this business and with buying cars, then obviously, the more luxuries you have, obviously, the more money the car is going to cost. From time to time, I do get some customers who are first-time buyers who are looking to achieve low payments for a luxury trim level of vehicle or something with a lot of equipment on it. There is a way to do that, and it's called leasing. Many people are scared of leases, but to be honest, leasing is quite simple. But like I said, you get what you pay for. Also, a mistake to avoid is you need to calculate your income to debt ratio. Meaning that, for example, the banks, depending on what you put on a credit app, what you fill out on the credit app, the banks will then kind of do a estimate about what it might cost to live the type of lifestyle you have. So they're going to calculate things like other car payments, how much rent you're paying at your current place of residence, cell phone bill. They actually calculate these things out, and they try and see if you do have room in your budget to pay a car. So, before you leave the house and before you think that, you can afford this, think again. Try and calculate every expense you have in your daily life and, work that way. Moving on to the next slide. Mistake number 2 is not showing up to your appointments. So, this is a very self-explanatory slide here, but it is very true. Most customers will not show up to their appointment on time, and that does a lot of things to everyone. So, for example, let's say you make an appointment with your sales consultant, and you say, hey, my appointment's going to be at 3 o'clock, but instead you show up at 4 o'clock. Chances are that your sales consultant is already with another customer. When you make an appointment with your sales consultant, depending on how good your sales consultant is, he should already have some, if not all, of the paperwork ready for you to go, ready to sign, Carfax ready to show, inspection records and maintenance records ready to show, and just ready to go when you get there. And when you get there, the transaction goes smoothly because he shows the car, test drive it, he already has the paperwork ready, so he's saving about 20 to 30 minutes to compile the paperwork, and the process just goes faster. Next, as you may not like the next sales consultant that the appointment that you missed out on, that sales consultant will then transfer you with another sales consultant. But you may not like that guy because most likely you've probably talked to the first sales consultant via email or on the phone, or you called in, or it was a referral, and you may not like the new guy. Also, showing up late can cost you. Why? Because until you show up or put a deposit on that car that you inquired on in the first place, it's still up for sale. And what most customers do, I've had this happen to me many times before, most customers will say, okay, I'll show up later, 30 minutes later, an hour later, or maybe the next day. That car that they called in on is often gone. Whether some other store that the dealership that you're dealing with had bought it from them, or another customer bought it, point blank, don't show up late. Show up on time. And if you're going to show up late, at least give a courtesy call to your sales consultant, letting him know that you're going to be early or late so that he's more prepared for you. Mistake number 3, not doing the proper research. A lot of people come to the dealership not even knowing what they want. And I totally understand buying a car is a big decision. But I'm telling you guys right now, if you do some research on what it is that you guys need to fit your budget and your family needs, I promise you're going to save a whole bunch of time rather than just walking up on a super hot day or a super cold day and trying to figure out which car that you like and how you're going to have to find something and going through the process. Do your proper research before you leave the house, and you'll be surprised on how much time you can save when shopping for a vehicle. Do research on reputable automotive websites such as car.com, cargurus.com, autotrader.com, ask around to your friends, what cars are working for them, what brands are working for them, what they like, get educated. It's good for you. Next is not bringing the decision maker. This is crazy. If you are married and you know that you need your spouse to make a decision before buying a car, bring your spouse. Set up a proper time to where you and your spouse can both be at the dealership and buy a vehicle. Many times, people will do what's called a one-legged appointment, and I totally understand. Sometimes you just can't get the time to work out and match up. But essentially, what you're doing is you're wasting hours, and you have to make an appointment, and you're just beating around the bush. Without bringing your decision maker, whoever it is. If you're just one person and you're just by yourself and you can make the decision, great. But if you're a couple, boyfriend, girlfriend, son, daughter, whatever relationship, I don't care. Bring the decision maker. Don't send that person out to scout. And if he likes the car, then he calls you up and come over. I mean, what you're doing is you're kind of wasting your sales consultant time, because if you're going to do all that, he could at least be with another customer. Because you got to understand, guys, that buying a car, this job in this business for a sales consultant is 100% commission. So if he doesn't make a sale, he's not getting any money, and if he's not getting any money, the sales consultant cannot feed his family. So be courteous. Don't do that. Don't play that game where I need to talk to my wife, I need to talk to my husband. Be there, present. You can skip a whole bunch of hours and save a whole bunch of time by bringing you and your family. So, like I said, bring the decision maker. So next, this is the last slide here that I got, is skipping out on the test drive. I have had plenty of customers come in and they say, I already know what it drives like. And, I drive them anyways, and they're like, oh my gosh, this drives way different than, the Honda Civic that I was driving down the street. Why is that? Because each car is tuned differently by a mechanic. Each mechanic has their different style. They may tighten the driver's wheel too much. They make the brakes extra sensitive. They just have a different style on how they work on their items and on their vehicles. Each mechanic has a different style on how, his specific touch on what he wants to do with the car. And plus, honestly, would you buy a shoe without trying it on? It's the same concept, guys. I mean, you are spending quite a bit of money. This is a big transaction. This is the second most biggest investment you will own in your life. Why wouldn't you take the time to research it, test it out, make sure it works, make sure it's good for your family, make sure it fits your budget, make sure that it has everything you want? Why wouldn't you take the time to at least test drive it? It takes 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes. You can oftentimes, just driving it from the lot up to customer parking is great. I mean, you can tell a lot about a car in the first 10 seconds you drive it, trust me. And remember, the point of buying the car is because it will be for you and your family. Take pride and ownership in the vehicle. Test drive it out. Don't skip out on the test drive. But anyways, guys, I hope that this video was educational for you. I hope you got some tips out of it. If you have any questions, you can contact me, 469-952-0741. If you know anyone in the car market, refer them to my website, www.princeejpatridge@gmail.com is also my email, and website, www.princeejpatridge.com. Schedule an appointment with me today if you're in need of the vehicle. If not, simply pass this information on to someone who is in need of a vehicle but is a little bit shy, and kind of scared on how the whole buying process works. But anyways, thanks for coming through to check out this video. Expect more later on.